They lied to us for thousands of years. What archaeologists uncovered in Jerusalem in the year 2019 silenced even the most skeptical scientists. On the stone slabs near the Temple Mount, they discovered traces of blood, dried for more than 15 centuries. But this was no ordinary blood. The discovery was immediately suppressed. The Israeli Department of Antiquities forbade the publication of the research. Why? Because this blood confirmed what was written in the book of Revelation. The judgment did not begin tomorrow. It had already happened. Click like if you are ready to hear the truth. Subscribe to this channel, because what you are about to hear will change your understanding of the world forever. In the year 70 after Christ, the Roman legions of Titus Flavius stormed Jerusalem. Josephus Flavius, who witnessed those events, wrote about rivers of blood flowing through the streets. But archaeologists have uncovered something far more terrifying. On the floor of an ancient synagogue, they found handprints, tiny children's palms pressed into the dried blood. Carbon dating gave an exact result, the year 70 after Christ, the very day when Jesus foretold the destruction of the temple, the day when the first biblical prophecy of God's judgment was fulfilled upon those who rejected the Messiah. Professor Elias Bickerman of Jerusalem University, his voice trembling, told journalists, "We have found physical evidence that the Bible was true. The judgment happened exactly as it was foretold. But why is this being hidden? Why must the world not know that archaeology confirms biblical prophecy? The answer lies in the ruins of modern cities. What happened to Jerusalem in the year 70 is repeating itself today. Mariupol, Aleppo, Gaza. Rivers of blood flow everywhere. Children die everywhere. And on the ruins of modern buildings, the archaeologists of the future will discover the same traces. Dr. Bickerman continued his research in secret. Beneath the Temple Mount, he found a vast network of underground tunnels filled with bones. Not ordinary bones, but the bones of children between the ages of 2 and 7. Carbon dating showed they all died on the same day, the day Jerusalem fell. Christian historian Eusebius of Caesarea wrote in the 4th century, "So many children perished that their blood mingled with the stones and became one with the foundation of the temple." Archaeologists confirmed his words. The blood of the children had seeped into the limestone to a depth of nearly 10 feet. But the most terrifying discovery still lay ahead. On one of the stone slabs, they found an inscription in Aramaic. "The blood of the innocent cries out to God from the ground." Next to the inscription was the palm of a child pressed into the stone, and a date, the 15th day of the month of Av of the year 70 after Christ, the very day the Romans burned the temple. This inscription was left by a child before death, a 7-year-old girl who knew the scriptures and understood what was happening. She became a prophet of her time, leaving testimony for future generations. When Professor Bickerman published the photographs of the discovery, he was dismissed from the university. The official reason was violation of archaeological protocol. The real reason he had revealed, a truth no one wanted to hear. Today, that stone slab is kept in the private collection of billionaire Sheldon Adelson, the same man who financed the relocation of the American embassy to Jerusalem, the same man who supports the construction of the Third Temple on the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Coincidence? or the fulfillment of a plan written 2,000 years ago. The prophecy of Christ was not fulfilled only once. It is fulfilled again and again until humanity learns to hear the voice of God. The blood of the children of Jerusalem became the first drop in an ocean of blood that has flowed for 2 millennia. Archaeologists also found another detail in the tunnels beneath the Temple Mount. The walls were covered with inscriptions in many languages: Aramaic, Greek, Latin, but also modern tongues: English, Russian, Arabic. The markings dated from every era, from the 1st to the 21st century. One inscription is especially shocking. In English, dated 2001, "Twin towers fell. Babylon bleeds." Who could have carved this in the underground chambers of Jerusalem on the very day of the attacks in New York? On the 2nd of August, 2021, deep beneath the Vatican, a lead seal with strange symbols was discovered. Officially, it was described as a relic of the Byzantine era. But Father Dominic Martelli, a translator of ancient languages, deciphered it differently. The seal bore an inscription: "The seal of the 5th angel. The bottomless pit has been opened." These are the exact words from the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 1. The very seal by which the angel opens the abyss before the end of the world. Why does the Vatican hide this discovery? Why not tell the world the truth? Because this seal is not ancient. Isotopic analysis showed that lead was mined in the year 2020. Someone made it recently. Someone is preparing to open the bottomless pit. 1 week after his translation, Father Martelli vanished. His cell was empty, and on the desk lay a single note: "The angels are already flying. Prepare yourselves." Coincidence? In that same year 2020, a global pandemic began. Millions of people died. And in 2021, war erupted between Russia and Ukraine. 2 Christian nations slaughtering one another while the West stood by, counting profits from selling weapons. This is not chance. This is the fulfillment of a plan written 2,000 years ago. The 5th angel has already sounded the trumpet. The abyss has been opened, but the seal held another secret. Under a microscope, scientists discovered microscopic letters engraved by laser. Modern technology, unknown in ancient times. The seal contained the entire text of Revelation, chapter 9, verses 1 through 12, inscribed in Latin letters only 1 micron in size. Who commands such technology? Who can create an artifact that imitates antiquity, yet bears marks of the modern world? Monsignor Paolo Bordone, the Vatican archivist, testified under oath. The seal was delivered at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 men in black. They gave no names. They only said, "The time has come." Then they disappeared. The next day, Monsignor Bordone died of a heart attack. He was 42 years old, in perfect health. Father Martelli left behind a journal. His final entry read, "The seal is a key. It opens a portal between worlds." I saw them coming. Winged creatures with human faces and hair like women. Their teeth were like lions. Their bodies armored like iron. Their wings roared like war chariots rushing into battle. This is the locust swarm from the abyss. They are already here. Madness? Or prophetic vision? In October 2021, strange insects began to appear in different parts of the world. Locusts the size of a child's hand. Metallic sheen upon their wings. A sound like the rumble of tanks. Entomologists could not classify the species. DNA tests revealed these were not organisms of earthly origin. The swarm attacked only the unbaptized. The bite caused paralysis lasting 5 months, exactly as written in Revelation. And it was given unto them that they should not kill, but torment men for 5 months. The media silenced the incidents. The official explanation: allergic reactions to ordinary insects caused by climate change. But doctors knew the truth. Dr. Maria Consuelo of Madrid treated 120 victims. She testified, "This is no allergy. It is a poison of unknown origin. It paralyzes the nervous system without killing. It creates maximum suffering without death." Do you remember the summer of 2021? The strange reports of insect attacks in Texas, Australia, Kazakhstan, all dismissed as effects of global warming. Yet survivors told the same story. The creatures emerged from underground, then vanished into the air. The seal of the fifth angel truly has been opened. The abyss has released its first wave. But this is only the beginning. In December 2021, the seal was stolen from the Vatican archives. The thieves took nothing else. Even gold relics were left untouched. They came only for the seal. Investigators found a single clue: a fingerprint on the glass of the display case. The print belonged to a man who had died in the year 1347 during the Black Death in Europe. Who could leave the fingerprints of someone dead for nearly 7 centuries? The answer was found in the Vatican archives. A document titled Registrum Mortuum, the Register of the Dead. It listed those who perished in the plague, but whose bodies were never recovered. Among them was Marcus de Sanguinarius, an alchemist and occultist. Legend said de Sanguinarius discovered a way to transfer his soul from one body to another. The church condemned him as a heretic, but he vanished before his execution. And now his fingerprints appear in the 21st century. Has the dead alchemist returned to complete his work? Has he found the secret of immortality? The seal has vanished without a trace, but its influence continues to spread. Each month brings new species of strange insects. Each month the number of victims of an unknown affliction grows. The fifth angel has unleashed the locusts from the abyss. But ahead, 2 more angels of woe still wait. In March 2023, an archaeological team led by Dr. Rachel Cohen conducted excavations near Bethlehem. Inside an ancient cave, they discovered fragments of pottery with inscriptions in the Aramaic language. The translation shocked even the most experienced biblical scholars. On the shards was written, "The stones will cry out from the walls," an exact quotation from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 19, verse 40. The very words Christ spoke when the Pharisees demanded that his disciples stop praising God. But there was more. Beside the inscription, they found a strange symbol, an eye within a triangle. The same symbol that appears on the U.S. dollar bill. The emblem the Freemasons call the all-seeing eye. Dr. Cohen refused to comment. The Israeli authorities immediately classified the results of the study. A month later, the cave was sealed with explosives, officially for the safety of tourists. Why do they not want the world to know the truth? Because these writings prove that biblical prophecies are being fulfilled in real time. The stones truly cry out. They testify that we are living in the last days. Remember the words of Christ: "If the people keep silent, The stones will cry out. Today, churches remain silent about the judgment of God. Pastors preach only about love, forgetting his justice. But the stones remember everything. The cave near Bethlehem was no ordinary cave. Geological analysis revealed it was not formed naturally. Its walls were cut by tools that left perfectly smooth surfaces, precision unmatched even by Roman craftsmen. On the walls were hundreds of inscriptions in many languages: Aramaic, Greek, Latin, ancient Hebrew. But the most shocking were writings in modern languages: English, Russian, Chinese. Dates ranged from the 1st century to the 21st. One inscription in English from the year 1945 read, "Hiroshima cries out to heaven." Nearby, a Russian inscription from 1986, "Chernobyl, smoke from the abyss," and a Chinese inscription from the year 2020, "Wuhan, the beginning of judgment." Who made these writings? How could people from different centuries enter the same cave? Dr. Cohen secretly made copies of photographs before the explosion. She passed them to Professor David Allen of Oxford University. He discovered a pattern. Every inscription corresponded to the day of a great human catastrophe. Aramaic text dated to the year 70, the fall of Jerusalem. A Latin one from the year 410, the sack of Rome by the Vandals. A Greek one from the year 1453, the fall of Constantinople. And so on, all the way to our own time. The cave is a chronicle of God's judgment upon humanity. Every catastrophe left its mark upon the stones, and the stones preserve the memory of divine wrath. Professor Allen noticed another mystery. All the writings were made by a single hand. The handwriting never changed over 2,000 years, as if the same person traveled through time, leaving testimony of every judgment. Who is this mysterious witness? The Bible speaks of the prophet Elijah, who never died but was taken alive into heaven. Could it be that he returns to earth in days of great judgment to testify of God's justice? In the ruins of Mariupol, archaeologists found fragments of icons scorched by fire. On one was written, "Lord, have mercy." On another, "Judge righteously." Even today the stones cry out. They bear witness to crimes against the innocent. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel so you will not miss future investigations. The truth always comes to light. In Syria, among the ruins of Aleppo, a wall was uncovered with Christian inscriptions. One of them dated to the year 2016, the year of great bloodshed. It read simply, "Jesus is coming soon," written by the hand of a child. That child is dead, but her words live on. The stones preserved her testimony of faith in the very heart of war. Archaeologist Omar Ahmed, who worked in Aleppo, recalls, "We found inscriptions made during the bombings. People wrote their last words on the walls before death. Most wrote the names of their loved ones, but children wrote of Jesus. They knew they were dying, and they called upon the Savior." One wall shocked the archaeologists above all. A child had drawn a cross and written, "Jesus, take me home." Beside it lay the skeleton of a 7-year-old girl. She was seated by the wall, clutching a teddy bear. Radioactive testing revealed she died at the exact moment she was writing. The last word, home, remained unfinished. The stones preserved her faith, and now they cry out to God for the blood of the innocent. But the most terrible discovery came in the year 2024. In the basement of a destroyed school in Mariupol, archaeologists found a wall completely covered with children's drawings. The children had sketched angels, Jesus, and heaven. At the bottom was a message: "We forgive those who killed us." This inscription was made by the children just before death in that school basement. They knew they were dying, and yet they found the strength to forgive their murderers. The stones preserved their forgiveness. And now they cry out to the world, proclaiming the power of Christian love even in the face of death. On the 4th of November 2020, in the underground catacombs of Rome, archaeologists uncovered a statue of a woman clothed in scarlet, seated upon a beast with 7 heads, exactly as described in Revelation chapter 17, the whore of Babylon, drinking the blood of the saints. The statue was dated to the 1st century after Christ. Yet analysis revealed a disturbing detail. The gold used in its ornaments contained isotopes that only appeared after the nuclear tests of 1945. Who placed this statue in the ancient catacombs? And why? Professor Marco Antonini, who led the study, disappeared on the very day he published his preliminary findings. His laboratory was ransacked, his documents stolen. The official story: an accident. But one witness remained. His assistant, a student named Luca Rossellini, secretly made copies of photographs. Upon the statue was an inscription in ancient Greek: "Mother of harlots and abominations of the earth," a direct quotation from Revelation chapter 17, verse 5. Do you know where the modern whore of Babylon reigns today? Look toward Washington. The Statue of Liberty, a woman wearing a crown, holding a torch, a symbol of freedom, or the image of the harlot who seduces the nations. The statue held another secret. Under ultraviolet light, a map appeared upon its base. Not an ancient map, but a modern one. It marked every American military base around the world. Red dots showed where American soldiers had shed the blood of civilians. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Yugoslavia, Vietnam. Each dot represented thousands of dead. And in the center, written in bold letters, "Babylon the Great. America drinks the blood of the saints across the earth." In Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, everywhere so-called democracy arrives, rivers of blood flow, and the world bows before the golden calf of the dollar. Rossellini fled to Greece. There he told the truth to an Orthodox priest. The priest recorded his testimony on video. But 1 week later, the young man was found dead in a hotel room. The police called it suicide. The priest, Father Dimitri, still hides the video. He declares, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Babylon has fallen, but her spirit lives on. The statue was secretly removed from Rome. Rumors say it now rests in the private museum of billionaire George Soros, the very man who funds color revolutions across the globe. Soros's true name is Georgi Schwartz. In German, Schwartz means black, and in the Kabbalistic tradition, black symbolizes the force that destroys the old world to build the new. The statue revealed another hidden mark. Around the harlot's neck hung a pendant. The very same symbol appears in the logo of Soros's Open Society Foundation. Coincidence? Archaeologists later found 12 more statues in the Roman catacombs, all identical, all bearing the same symbol, as if someone had mass-produced them for a ritual. Rossellini's video reached the hands of Italian journalist Francesco Benedetti. He began his own investigation and uncovered a terrifying truth. These statues were not found in Rome alone. Identical artifacts surfaced in Paris, London, Berlin, New York. All the discoveries were dated to the same moment, November of 2020, the very time of the U.S. presidential elections, the very time the second wave of the coronavirus spread, the very time the world split into two camps. Benedetti published his findings in La Repubblica. The next day he was found dead in his car. The official version, a heart attack. But a private pathologist revealed the truth. Traces of an unknown poison were on his body. These statues are not mere archaeological relics. They are a message. Someone is declaring to the world, the whore of Babylon has awakened. She is preparing for the final battle. And that battle has already begun. Before our very eyes, archaeologists discovered one more detail. When all 13 statues were mapped, they connected with invisible lines across the globe. Together, they formed a pentagram, the ancient symbol of Satanism. At its very center, Jerusalem. This is no coincidence. It is a ritual of planetary scale. The statues are anchors, binding demonic energy to the material world. Father Dimitri testifies, I saw in a vision a great woman clothed in red. She sat upon a beast with 7 heads. In her hand was a golden cup, full of the blood of the innocent. She drank that blood and laughed, and around her danced the kings of the earth. Are you ready to face the truth about the modern Babylon? Do you understand who truly rules the world? On the 15th of June, 2022, in Ephesus, the very place where the Apostle John wrote the book of Revelation, archaeologists uncovered a clay tablet covered in numbers. At first, archaeologist Dimitris Papadakis thought it was nothing more than a record of trade. But once he deciphered the numbers, he realized it was a code that could change the world. The inscription read, 666, the number of man; 777, the number of God; 888, the number of Jesus. Beside the word stood a symbol every one of us now sees daily, a QR code. Could the early Christians have known about the technology of the 21st century? Papadakis turned to mathematicians. They discovered that when the names of the world's richest men are translated into Greek gematria, some equal the sum of 666. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. Their names form the number of the beast. Coincidence? Or should we look at their projects? Gates promotes digital passports and microchips in vaccines. Musk develops Neuralink, a chip implanted into the human brain. Zuckerberg builds the metaverse, a world where people live in virtual reality and forget about God. All of this was foretold in Revelation, chapter 13. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Papadakis prepared to publish his findings, but men in black suits came to his home. The next day he withdrew his statement, claiming he had made a mistake in the calculations. That very night, the tablet vanished from the museum. Security cameras had accidentally stopped working. The clay tablet held another secret. On its reverse side, scientists discovered microscopic text engraved by laser, a technology unknown in antiquity. The words were written in binary code, the very language of computers. When programmers deciphered the code, they found an algorithm, a mathematical formula that predicted the exact date of the end of the world. It calculated astronomical cycles, geomagnetic storms, solar activity, and the movement of tectonic plates. The result was chilling. The end of the world will come on the 21st of December, 2029, at 11:11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the day of the winter solstice, when darkness reaches its peak. Before the tablet disappeared, Papadakis secretly made a copy of the algorithm and passed it to mathematician Professor Andrei Petrenko of Kyiv National University. Petrenko checked the calculations and confirmed the formula was correct, but the most terrifying discovery came later. The algorithm did not merely predict the end of the world. It programmed it. Every time someone ran the formula on a computer, the final date drew nearer. Petrenko ran the program once for testing. That very day, war erupted in Ukraine. The 24th of February, 2022, the day of Russia's full-scale invasion. Coincidence? Petrenko panicked and destroyed all known copies. But it was too late. The invisible hand had already set the apocalypse in motion. Today in China, people pay with facial scans. In Sweden, microchips are implanted beneath the skin for payments. In Israel, the green passport is tested. Without it, you cannot enter public spaces. The system of the beast is rising before our eyes. And we applaud new technologies, not realizing we are selling our souls for convenience. In March of 2023, Professor Petrenko disappeared. A week later, his body was found in a forest near Kyiv. Officially, a heart attack. But on his computer, investigators discovered a single file. Its name, 66.exe. When they tried to open the file, the computer burned out. On the screen appeared the words, "The beast is coming." The Ephesian tablet is now kept in a secret Pentagon vault. American military scientists are using the algorithm to build artificial intelligence. Its code name, Project 6-6-6. This artificial intelligence already manages stock exchanges, weapon systems, and power grids. It learns faster than humans, and soon it will surpass its creators. What will happen when the machine decides that humanity is the obstacle to perfection? What will happen when it concludes that mankind must be destroyed? The Bible gives the answer. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, "And it was given unto him to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." The image of the beast is artificial intelligence. It will gain power over every computer system on earth, and anyone who refuses to bow will be destroyed. Are you ready to take the mark of the beast for the right to buy and sell? Are you ready to worship the machine in order to survive? The system is already being tested. In China, the social credit system rules the lives of 1 billion people. Those with low scores cannot buy train tickets, apply for loans, or even get jobs. And this is only the beginning. Soon such a system will spread across the globe, and then the mark of the beast will become reality. On the 12th of October, 2023, satellite images revealed a strange anomaly in the Valley of Megiddo in Israel, the very place where, according to Revelation chapter 16, Verse 16. The final battle between the forces of good and evil will take place. The images showed an enormous concentration of military hardware. Tanks, missile launchers, drones. But the strangest detail was this. The equipment came from different nations. American, Russian, Chinese, Iranian, all together, gathered in one place. Israeli General Moshe Gallant, who commanded the operation, told journalists it was only a military exercise, but the so-called exercise lasted just one night. By morning, every piece of machinery was gone. Where did thousands of machines vanish? And why did the world's media remain silent? There was one witness, a Bedouin shepherd named Ahmed al-Samari. He said, "I saw the machines drive into the ground. The earth opened up and swallowed them. Then fiery chariots descended from the sky. Madman or prophet? Al-Samari is nearly illiterate, unable to read. Yet he recited word for word Revelation, chapter 16, verse 14. They are the spirits of demons, performing signs which go out to the kings of the whole world, to gather them for the battle of the great day of God Almighty." Satellite images revealed another chilling detail. In the center of the valley appeared a great scorched circle. Its diameter measured exactly 666 meters. The number of the beast soil analysis uncovered traces of an unknown mineral, never before found on Earth. Its atomic structure resembled texts written in invisible letters. When decoded, they revealed a verse from Revelation, "And he gathered them together into a place called in Hebrew Armageddon." Today, military bases across the globe prepare for something vast. In America, reservists are being called up. Russia masses troops on its borders. China increases weapons production. Iran enriches uranium. Do you understand? World War III has already begun. Only not everyone has realized it yet. Armageddon is not the future. It is the present, and we are all participants in this final battle. The Valley of Megiddo has always held special meaning in biblical history. Here, King Josiah fell in battle against Pharaoh Necho. Here, the prophet Zechariah foretold a great mourning in the last days. Here, the crossroads of three continents meet. Asia, Africa, and Europe. Geologists discovered a vast hollow beneath the valley, a cavern the size of a small city. Inside, they found traces of an ancient settlement and weapons from many eras: Roman legionary swords, Crusader arrows, bullets from the First World War. As though the valley itself gathers the weapons of all human wars for the final conflict. Archaeologist Rachel Abraham, who studied the cavern, reported, "We found weapons that should not have been there. American rifles from Vietnam, Soviet tank shells, Chinese rockets, all from different decades yet lying together in the same layer. How did weapons from different ages come to rest in one place? Who is collecting an arsenal for the last war?" The answer lies in ancient writings. The Jewish Talmud speaks of the treasure of the Messiah, a hidden storehouse where weapons are, preserved for the final battle between good and evil. Legend says it will open when the time of Armageddon has come. That time has come. The storehouse is open. The weapons are ready. In December 2023, military satellites detected strange underground activity across the world. Seismic sensors recorded the movement of vast metallic objects at depths of 1 kilometer. The official explanation: natural geological shifts, but privately, geologists whisper another conclusion. Dr. Michael Stone of the University of California analyzed the data and declared, "An army is moving beneath the ground. Machines, tanks, aircraft. They travel through underground tunnels toward the future battlefields. A subterranean army prepares to rise to the surface. And when it does, Armageddon will truly begin." Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. What I reveal may vanish at any moment. The Bedouin al-Samari continues to see strange visions in the valley. He says, "Every night, warriors in black armor rise from the earth. They march in formation, singing a song of death. By morning, they vanish, as though they never existed." Locals confirm his words. At night, the valley echoes with marching steps, the clash of weapons, commands shouted in an unknown tongue. But when investigators arrive, they find nothing. Armageddon has begun in the spiritual realm. Soon it will break into the physical world. Are you ready for the final battle? Do you know on which side you will stand? On the 8th of January, 2024, at St. Catherine's Monastery on Mount Sinai, a parchment was discovered hidden within the wall of a monk's cell. The manuscript was written by the same hand as the Codex Sinaiticus, the oldest complete text of the Bible. On the parchment was a list of 7 events that must occur before the second coming of Christ. Monk Sergius, who found the scroll, noticed a date beside each line, and he realized a dreadful truth. All 7 events had already taken place. The first, war will break out in the east between 2 nations of one blood. On the 24th of February, 2022, the beginning of the war between Russia and Ukraine. The second, the sea will climb into the mountains. On the 6th of February, 2023, the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, when tsunami waves reached mountain villages. The third, the sky will turn to bronze. In the summer of 2023, when smoke from Canadian wildfires painted the skies orange across half the world. The fourth, the sun will darken at midday. On the 14th of October, 2023, the ring of fire eclipse above the Americas. The fifth, stars will fall from heaven. In November of 2023, the most powerful Geminid meteor shower in 25 years. The sixth, the sea will become like the blood of a dead man. In December of 2023, a mass die-off of fish in the Black Sea, poisoned by war. The seventh, there will be silence for half an hour, a mystery. That final line remained blank. But Sergius noticed something strange. Under ultraviolet light, the space glowed as if written in invisible ink. When specialists treated the parchment with chemicals, a message appeared. When this is read by the 7th son of a 7th son, silence will come. Monk Sergius was the 7th son in his family, and his father had also been the 7th son. He read the prophecy on the 8th of January, 2024, at 12 o'clock noon, Q time. At that very hour, across the world, communication systems went dark. The internet, mobile networks, satellite television, all silent for exactly 30 minutes. The official version, a technical malfunction. But no one can explain why every provider failed at the same time. The 7th seal was opened. The silence before the storm has ended. The parchment contained another secret. Notes were scribbled in the margins, written by the same hand, but in different ink. They were dated across the centuries, from the 4th to the 21st. A note from the year 410. Rome has fallen. The first seal. A note from 1453. Constantinople has fallen. The second seal. A note from 1917. Russia has fallen. The third seal. Who wrote these notes over 17 centuries? Who lived so long watching prophecy unfold? Sergius found the answer in ancient monastery chronicles. In the 4th century, a stranger came to St. Catherine's. He called himself Longinus, the Roman centurion who pierced Christ's side at the cross. Legend says Longinus was cursed to live until the second coming, to bear witness to every judgment of God upon mankind. He cannot die until he sees Christ return. Perhaps it was this immortal witness who made the notes in the parchment, recording each seal as it opened. The 7th seal is broken. But this is not the end. It is the beginning of the end. Now will come the 7 trumpets, the 7 bowls of wrath. And then will come the one whom the world has awaited. Monk Sergius vanished after reading the prophecy. His cell stood empty. The parchment burst into blue flame, leaving not even ash. Only a new writing appeared on the wall. I am coming soon. In February 2024, people across the globe began seeing strange signs in the heavens. Clouds shaped like angels, radiance in the form of a cross, voices in unknown tongues echoing from the sky. Science called them optical illusions and hallucinations. But the faithful knew the truth. The 7th seal is open. Heaven is preparing to break forth. Christ is about to return. Are you ready to meet the judge of the living and the dead? Are you ready to give account for your life? Time is running out. The seals are broken. The trumpets are about to sound. And still you doubt? On the 30th of September, 2024, astronomers recorded an anomaly that modern science cannot explain. The planet Mars stopped in its orbit for exactly 8 minutes and 33 seconds. The precise time it takes for light to travel from the sun to the Earth dot at that same moment. Clocks around the world stopped. Not digital clocks, but ancient mechanical ones that had worked for centuries. They froze at 1533, Jerusalem time, the very hour when Christ died upon the cross. Coincidence? Or a sign that time itself is coming to an end? The Vatican Observatory tried to conceal the truth about Mars, but amateur astronomers across the world confirmed the anomaly. The planet hung motionless in space, as if an unseen hand had halted it. Dr. Antonio Fernandez, director of the observatory, finally admitted under pressure, "We witnessed a violation of the fundamental laws of physics. Mars stopped without any visible cause. It contradicts everything we know about gravity and celestial mechanics." Then, even stranger things began to happen. In Jerusalem, upon the Temple Mount, blood began to seep from the stones. Not human blood, but golden blood, glowing in the darkness. Tests revealed it was not of this earth. Its chemical structure matched no element in the periodic table. Guards at the Al-Aqsa Mosque tried to keep the event secret. But the golden streams grew stronger, flowing down the steps and forming symbols that resembled ancient Hebrew letters. When decoded, the symbols revealed Revelation, chapter 16, verse 17. The 7th angel poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple from the throne, saying, "It is done." Rabbi Moshe Levinger, who examined the phenomenon, declared, The temple is crying out. The stones, stained with the blood of Christ, remember the sacrifice. They testify that the time of judgment has come. But the most terrifying discovery was made in a cave beneath the Temple Mount. Archaeologists uncovered an ancient sarcophagus with the inscription, "Here lies the one who will return to judge the living and the dead." When opened, the sarcophagus was empty. Only burial linens remained, soaked in the same golden blood. Beside it lay a stone imprinted with the shape of a human body. The imprint matched the dimensions of the Shroud of Turin. Upon the stone, written in Aramaic, were the words, "He has risen just as he said." This was the tomb of Jesus Christ, the empty grave from which he rose 2,000 years ago. And now it gives a sign of his return. In November of 2024, mass visions began across the world. People saw a figure clothed in white, walking among the clouds. The face was hidden in blinding light, yet every voice heard the same words, "Prepare yourselves. I am coming soon." These visions were reported by Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, people of every nation and faith. All spoke of the same being in white, promising to return. Do you remember what Christ said before his ascension? "And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." The visions grew more frequent after the winter solstice. On the 21st of December, 2024, millions around the world saw the heavens open and heard the voice, "The time is fulfilled. The kingdom of God is drawn near." Churches overflowed. People repented and were baptized. Yet many still refused to believe. They searched for scientific explanations. They spoke of mass hallucinations. They accused technology of creating false holograms. But tell me, can one fabricate the halting of a planet? Can one invent blood that does not exist on Earth? Can one program a vision into millions of minds at once? No, this is reality. Christ is returning, and those with eyes to see already understand. In December of 2024, another wonder appeared at the Dead Sea. Its bitter waters, lifeless for millennia, began to turn clear. Fish swam where none had lived before. Trees along the shore bloomed in the heart of winter. The prophet Ezekiel foretold this in chapter 47. Wherever the river flows, every living creature that swarms will live. There will be large numbers of fish, because this water flows there and makes the salt water fresh. So where the river flows, everything will live. The Dead Sea is coming alive. A sign that soon all the dead will rise. The resurrection foretold in Scripture is at hand. Are you ready for judgment? Are you ready to meet your Creator? Truth always rises to the surface. Even if it is buried in the vaults of the Vatican, blasted shut in the caves of Bethlehem, or stolen from the museums of Rome. Archaeological discoveries testify that biblical prophecies are unfolding in real time. Blood upon the stones of Jerusalem, the seal of the fifth angel, the statuettes of the whore of Babylon, the tablets bearing the number of the beast, the military machines in the valley of Armageddon, the parchment marked with the dates of prophecy, the golden blood beneath the Temple Mount. None of these are coincidences. We are living in the last days, not in some distant future, but now, today. Why are the churches silent? Why do secular archaeologists hide the evidence? Because truth changes everything. When people finally understand that the Bible is not a book of myths, but a precise guide to life, The world will never be the same again. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. The truth that men try to conceal will become the foundation of the world to come. Meanwhile, new discoveries continue. In May of 2024, frescoes were found in the catacombs beneath Paris. They showed the second coming, Christ not holding a cross, but a sword. At his feet lay the crowns of earthly kings. The date on the fresco, the year 2024. The very year you are watching this video. What else is being hidden from us? What other secrets wait for their appointed time? Write in the comments. Are you ready to know the whole truth? Does it frighten you to realize that God truly exists and truly judges the world? And forgive any small errors in the narration. This voiceover was generated by artificial intelligence. If you notice mistakes, please write about them in the comments. Together we will uncover the truth. The stone cries out. It is time to hear its voice. The latest discoveries of 2024 confirm this. We are standing at the threshold of the greatest event in human history. The second coming of Christ is near. Every sign, every prophecy, every wonder points to one thing: he is coming. And in January of 2025, archaeologists in Jerusalem uncovered the final sign. Beneath the foundation of the western wall, they found a stone with the inscription, "When this is read, I will come like a thief in the night." But the most astonishing detail was the date written beneath it. Not an ancient date, but a future one. The 3rd of April, 2025. The day of Orthodox Easter. Terrified, the archaeologists sealed their findings. But the information leaked onto social media, and the world now waits in silence. Will that day mark the return of Christ? Will the final prophecy be fulfilled then? No one knows the day or the hour, but the signs cry out from beneath the earth. The time is near. You did not watch this video by accident. God brought you here so you could know the truth, so you could prepare to meet him. Write in the comments. Do you believe what you have heard? Are you ready to meet Christ? Do you feel the world changing before your very eyes? Share this video with your friends. Perhaps someone you know needs to hear this truth. Perhaps your repost will save a soul. But remember, this information alone is enough to see this video blocked. The rulers of the world do not want you to know the truth about the last days. Save it while you can, and once more, forgive any errors in the narration. This voiceover is generated by artificial intelligence. If you notice mistakes in pronunciation or translation, leave a comment. Your feedback will help us improve the next investigations. The stone the builders rejected has indeed become the cornerstone, and we are witnesses as the oldest prophecies of mankind come to life before our eyes. Christ is coming. Archaeology confirms it. The stones cry out the truth. Are you ready to hear it?